A very good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for attending today's training. Okay, so today's training is about E-Invoice, the implementation. Okay, and also we will look into the objective later on when I show in the slide. Okay, so yeah, how's everyone today? Good? Good. Alright, thank you. Okay, so let's begin. A little introduction of myself. Okay. A little introduction of myself. My name is Lhdn. Okay, and I graduated from FMU and INTA, both universities, and then I joined in as IT actually 10 years ago, and started the software few years back. And today I'll be the trainer, and I'll be conducting this training, and I'm also a certified SQL trainer. Alright. So let's look into the objective. Okay, today objective is to have a look into the overview of E-Invoice and E-Invoice, how it works, okay, and the Lhdn portal implementation as well. Okay, so we will look into the onboarding process and the implementation part. So during the sessions, if you have any questions, please raise your hand and raise your questions. Okay, I will try to answer, okay, or you can wait until the end of the trainings. Okay, there will be a Q&A session. Okay, and then today's agenda also, in between we will have a break. Okay, we will have a break and we will have rest time. Okay, to refresh. Okay, so during the refresh time, you can come to me for Q&A as well. Okay, alright. So may I know, okay, for today's participants, okay, from today's participant, may I know how much do you think you know about E-Invoice? How clear are you into this upcoming E-Invoice? Okay, do you know, first thing first, do you know your implementation timeline? If yes, please raise your hand. Okay, very good. Okay, so if for the rest who are still unclear or still maybe you have questions, okay, you have query, no risk. After this session, okay, you will have a clearer picture. Okay, so what do you think about Lhdn E-Invoice? What do you think? Is it something new about the taxes? Or that what are we going to do with this Lhdn E-Invoice? Because everybody is talking about E-Invoice now. So what is it really about? Let's look into it. Okay, so who needs to issue E-Invoice? Before I start this part, okay, who need to issue E-Invoice? I believe maybe some of you know here already know each other, and some of you may not be still knowing each other. Okay, so maybe just a short and simple introduction of yourself. Maybe let me know at least your name or your nickname. So during the training, at least I can guide you through. Okay, so maybe a simple introduction of yourself before we move to know that, okay, who is going to need this E-Invoice. So I start with our first participant here. Okay, maybe you just let me know your name. Okay, let me know your name, and then which part normally you are handling in your company. Whether you are actually the accountant or a bookkeeper or clerk in the office issuing the invoices or purchases. So which department are you in? Okay, so we start with our first participant here.
Okay, good morning. My name is Rahayati. In my company, I am in charge of customer transaction for daily sales.
Okay, thank you. So second participant, okay, maybe we start with this.
Hi, my name is Aris. In the company, I will mostly helping managing the E-Invoice and applying.
Alright, so next.
Hi, my name is Hashinda. Normally I akan buat sales
satisfaction customer.
Alright, and last one.
Hello, I'm working. I come for learn about the e-invoice.
Which department?
Which department?
Alright, okay. Thanks for the simple introduction. So, as I know, everyone here is okay, from the company, and also I believe everyone knows clearly about own job scope. So then we will know who needs to issue e-invoice, whether you are involved or you just need to know you should involve. Okay? So these are the individuals and legal entities who needs to submit e-invoice. Easy to say, so long as you are in the corporate, okay, so long you are in the business, in the company, as long as your business, your company is conducting business, there is sales transactions, okay, you may need to do e-invoice depending on your company's revenue year 2022. So let's move on. Okay, so before I go deep into the e-invoice part, basically just a simple introduction. Okay, so e-invoice is to enable near real-time validation, meaning that if you are conducting business to business, your company is selling to another company, business to consumer. Okay, you are conducting transactions between selling to a consumer. A consumer can be someone who is not conducting business. Okay, like you are selling maybe products to the end users. Okay, and business to government, maybe you are also doing some government projects. Okay, or doing selling items to the schools. Okay, to the hospitals. Okay, business to government. Okay, so long as you comply, okay, you may need to submit invoice. Why I say you may? Because there are requirements. Okay. So move on. This is the e-invoice formatting that we need to do submission. Not PDF, not Excel. Okay, these are the two formats, the XML and the JSON. That is why we have two ways to do submission. What are the two ways? Okay. Is e-invoice only on invoices? Okay, these are a few questions. I first approach a few questions first, okay, before we move into the details. So, is e-invoice only for invoices? Okay, ada orang sudah okay, yes, you are right. Okay, you are right. E-invoice is not only on invoices. Okay, it caters for invoice, debit note, credit note, refund note. What are these? Invoice, I believe everybody know what are invoices. Oh, okay, so basically when you sell things, you need to issue invoice. And what are debit note? Okay, debit note basically is after you issue invoice, okay, and then the customer wish to add on items, you can issue a debit note. Okay, so if let's say the customer wish to cancel or return some items, okay, you need to issue credit note. Okay, credit note. So for what is refund note? Refund note is meaning that mostly for retail. Okay, you already purchased the item and you decide that okay, you want to exchange. Okay, so the retailers need to issue refund note. Okay, to refund you the money. Okay, normally, if let's say you exchange things that okay, you may not want to exchange things, maybe you just want to return the items and want to get your money back, so you use refund note. Okay, and not only that, you have to do self-bill. So what is self-bill? Okay, these four documents need to be submitted as well. Self-bill invoice, self-bill debit note, self-bill credit note, self-bill refund note. Okay, so what are these self-bill? Okay, we will look into it. Okay, so I thought a few questions first, then we will look into the details. So can I be exempted? Many people ask, okay, can I be exempted? The answer is yes, but only these selected persons can be exempted from look into who are exempted. Okay, so if you notice, okay, our rulers of the countries, okay, our government, our state government, okay, all the authorities here, they are exempted. And lastly, individual who is not conducting business, they can be exempted. If you are not conducting business, definitely you do not need to issue invoice, and definitely you do not need to submit invoice. So you are exempted. Else, yes. Else, you need to be on board. So the next question, can I skip? No. Yeah, you already get it. Okay, so cannot skip. Okay, cannot skip. Why? Because it has been, okay, it has become a law. Okay, sudah tak boleh skip. Okay, become a law. So what do you do if you don't comply? Saman. Okay, saman. Okay, if you don't comply. So move on. It's an offense for failing to comply. Okay, move on. So okay, sound down. Many people ask, when should it be implemented? When? Okay. These are the timeline. Okay, following your revenue year 2022. These are your timeline. If you are yet to go on board, you can wait until your timeline. Nobody can force you to be on board. Okay, it's not like Titanic. I jump, you jump. Okay, I jump. You can tell the supplier, you jump, I watch. Okay, so wait for your timeline to go on board. Okay, I can share you the stats here. Okay, wait for your timeline to on board. Revenue year 2022. Okay, I ask you a question. Okay, if let's say your revenue 2022 is above 500k, is above 500k. So you know your timeline, right? Above 500k, your timeline is 1st July 2026. 1st July 2026. Okay, another question. If your revenue 2024, okay, 2022 above 500k, but 2024, your revenue goes to 3 million. So when is your onboarding time? Yes. Is it? Yes? 1st January. Bingo. Correct. Okay. Yay! You are right. Okay. Correct. We follow 2022. Okay. We follow 2022. Unless you tell me you have yet to start the company in year 2022. So another question. So if let's say you start your company in year 2023 to 2025. Okay. Okay, I don't want to make the question so difficult. When you start your company 2023 and year end 2023, your company, okay, your company reach say 600k. Okay, so when is your onboarding time? Anyone? Yes? 20, yeah. 1st July, yes, correct. Okay, so meaning that if let's say a company started before 2022 or in 2022, so long as your revenue in 2022, okay, year end, your revenue is how much, okay, you follow the timeline. So within 2023 to 2025, okay, within that period of time, okay, you started a company, and then let's say your company reach, okay, a revenue, a certain revenue, okay, you also follow this timeline when you should start. Okay, so if let's say you started a company in 2024, okay, 2023, 2024, or 2025, so long as your company reach the revenue of 500k and above, you start 1st July. Okay, 1st July. Just like you mentioned 1st July, right? Yeah, 1st July. So if let's say you ask, if my company has yet to reach 500k, so when is your onboarding time? supply 500k? When is your onboarding time? Tak payah dulu, no need first. Wait until you reach to 500k. Okay, wait until you reach 500k. Okay, so what is the invoice process? Let's look through. Okay, we have two options for submission. One is my invoice portal. Second one is you use the API with your software. Okay, so kebanyakan most of the software they are now ready. Be it those post system they are also ready. Okay, so post system also can submit e-invoice now. Okay, accounting software also can submit. Okay, so if you do not want to purchase the software, you can go for my invoice portal. You can log into my tax, log into the director. Okay, the my tax, you go to my invoice portal or ask your director to assign your login. Alright? So these are the model. So let me briefly explain what are the steps. Okay. Number one, issue invoice, debit, credit or refund. Notes. Okay, I use invoice example. When you issue an invoice to customer, okay, this supplier is us, okay, not our supplier. Ini supplier yang kita sendiri, okay, kita sendiri, us, okay. This is our customer. So first step, we issue invoice, and what do? Is we send this invoice to Arabic Union Cloud, and what happened next is second. The item, the Arabic Cloud will return us a validated e-invoice, which is the QR code. Okay, the QR code. We submit invoice to Arabic return us with the QR code. And then this invoice is validated. The next step is, okay, the next step is we give to our customer. So in between you will notice that okay, 1, 2, 3 is here. Validation notification. What is this validation notification? Okay. When we submit invoice to Arabic, okay, Arabic return us one validated e-invoice together with the validation notification. Okay. And this notification our customer also will receive. So whenever we have set up this My Invoice portal, okay, for the first time when you log into the My Invoice portal, you will notice that, okay, it will ask us to update email and contact. Make sure that the email that you update is the email that somebody is going to log in and check. Okay, and please be prepared to make sure that the email has enough space to keep all the notifications, because one day may have a lot. Okay, and please be reminded that when you already set up My Invoice portal with your email and your contact, what happened is probably the next minute you already receive a notification from Arabi because your supplier sent you an e-invoice. Okay, so please log in. Okay, you can take a look, okay, and confirm that this supplier billing to you, okay, and then the information is on site. So this is the validation notification. Okay, after we share, okay, supplier, okay, we share the invoice to our customer. Okay, our customer, imagine, okay, our customer will receive notification. And they will look through, and then they realize, tak betul lah, the amount not correct. So the customer can, okay, request for rejection from My Invoice portal. They can reject our invoice. Okay, they can reject. Okay, so when they reject, our My Invoice portal will receive a notification. Somebody sent us a notification. We log into our My Invoice portal, check my invoice. Okay, probably I betul-betul put the amount incorrectly. So I have to amend. Okay, I have to amend. So this request for rejection, if let's say, okay, if let's say, you see, number 5, request for rejection. Okay, request for rejection notification will be sent. Okay, request for rejection will be sent. Okay, so now I cancel the invoice because customer reject due to the wrong amount. I cancel. So cancellation notification will be sent. Okay, and then if let's say this don't happen, customer no rejection. Okay, everything was fine after I check out. Okay, this E-Invoice will be stored into RRP database. Am I clear? Oh, clear. Okay, clear. Okay, in summary, I make a summary. We as supplier issue invoice. Okay, I senang. Okay, easy to say. I issue invoice to Hayati. Okay, I issue. I repeat. I want to send Hayati. Hayati is my customer. I want to send e-invoice to Hayati. So what I do, I create an invoice. Okay, I submit first to Lhdn. So Lhdn sana, the RRP sana, okay, will validate this invoice and return it to me. Okay, this time my invoice comes with a QR code. Okay, it comes with a QR. And at the same time, RRP will send a notification to Hayati and to me as well. Okay, meaning that Hayati will receive a notification that I submitted an e-invoice. Okay, so definitely I need to pass the hard copy to Hayati. I still have to pass the hard copy to Hayati lah. Okay, so Hayati, if no rejection, okay, whatever that I have submitted to Lhdn will be stored in the Lhdn database forever, ever, ever. Okay, if let's say Hayati got rejection, okay, she reject my invoice, I will receive a notification from Lhdn. Okay, my invoice is being rejected. Okay, so we discuss. After we discuss, everything is right. Okay, everything is right. Then I do the process. Okay. So here is where we can check on the TIN number. Okay, the TIN number, how to verify and retrieve and verify TIN, because we need the TIN number. We need all the information in order to do invoice submission. Okay, so we can go to my invoice portal, go to e-data. Okay, if let's say somebody asks, hey, how to check my TIN number? Okay, you can go to my text, go to e-data. Okay. So because we need to submit e-invoice, these are the requirements, the data that we need to fulfill. What data? Okay, list of requirement fields for e-invoice. Okay, now we have two parties. So since we have two groups here, let's make it a two parties. This part is supplier, this part is buyer. Okay, so you are supplier, you are buyer. You are selling and you are buying. Okay, so definitely you sell, you create invoice. Okay, to the buyer. So you have company A and the company B. Okay, so what are your compulsory field? Okay, what are your compulsory field? First of all, your company name just now already as mentioned. TIN number. Okay, bukan balok TIN TIN number. Okay, tax identification number. Okay, TIN number, business registration number. Don't tell me you don't have a business registration number. Okay, definitely you have because you are a company. Betul, ada orang cakap dia tak ada business registration number. Okay, that is not possible. Okay, if let's say your company is SSC registered, please make sure that your SSC number, Okay, confirm it's compulsory. You need to fill in. Okay, you need to provide. Okay, and if let's say you are a tourism company, you will have a tourism tax. This is compulsory, must fill in. Okay, and then optional. Optional. Email is optional. Why? You guess why email is optional? No. Wow, very good try. Thank you. Thank you. Very good try. Keep changing. But actually, why is email optional? Ingat tak? Just now when I mentioned, when you first log into the My Invoice portal, what you are asked? Two things. Yes, phone and email. Okay? When you log into My Invoice portal, you already furnish your phone and email inside. So this is optional. Okay? This is optional. Okay? So, okay, this is MSIC code. The next one, MSIC code. Okay, a lot of people not sure what is MSIC code. Are you aware what is MSIC code? Okay. Malaysia Standard Industrial Classification Code. When we first register our company, okay, we have to masukkan ini MSIC code. We have to put in this MSIC code. This MSIC code will indicate what kind of business nature we are in. So one company may have a few MSIC code. Okay, so choose one. Okay, you could have a few. If you are aware, you are not aware what MSIC code you registered during company setup, yeah, you can ask your accountant or secretary.
Tapi kalau macam customer tu macam company I tu, company I dia ada 4 MSC code. So nak kena choose yang mana yang paling
Yeah, if let's say your company ada 4 MSIC code, choose satu yang you rasa most related lah. Choose satu saja. From the 4 you choose satu. Any of the satu. Because 4 tu already in your SSN. Okay, so you choose satu. Okay, so MSIC code important. Okay, important. Okay, and this part. Okay, business activity description. Okay, so now we come to the buyer's detail. Buyer's detail. Okay, this is the buyer, so I send that. Buyer's detail, what you need? First, just now we already mentioned your company name, and then your TIN number. Okay, if you notice, okay, Sendirian Berhad TIN number start with C. Okay, so need to make sure you put in the C. Okay, don't omit the alphabet. You have to key in the alphabet, don't omit. Okay, individual TIN is IG, partnership is D. Okay, partnership is D. So there are possibilities. There are possibilities. Okay, your company. Let's say your company is a partnership. Okay, but actually 2 years ago you already separated. Oh, too bad. Okay, separated. So now you are sole proprietor. Okay, but when you log into My Invoice portal, you will notice that you are still in the partnership. Your TIN number is still D. You need to update Lhdn. Okay, so then they will correct back the TIN number. Else, later on, when you do e-invoice submission, okay, there will be a problem. Okay, so need to make sure you are sole prop or partnership. Okay, need to make sure. So, buyer's registration number, SSN number, okay, SSC registration number, and so is email optional. Email optional. But when let's say you request for e-invoice from your supplier, okay, and then definitely they may ask for your email, although it's optional. Because why? They need to email you the document. Okay, they still need to email you the document. Although for Lhdn it's optional. Okay, because they already have your email, but supplier may not have. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, address, contact number, they are compulsory. They are compulsory. Don't worry, they will not stop you. Okay, they will not harm you. Okay, so just provide them because they need to submit e-invoice. They need your address and your contact number. Okay, need to provide. Okay, so these are what requires in the invoice detail. In the documents, easy to say, in the documents. Okay, you will need the invoice number, you will need your document, whether it be e-invoice, debit note, credit note, or so on. Okay, then the date and time, okay, completion of the date and time, okay. So these are the details, okay. People may ask, okay, what is digital signature? Okay, digital signature will be provided. Okay, but actually digital signature need to buy outside. Okay, why? Because let's say Hasina and Hayati. Okay, Hayati is the real person who needs to submit, and then Hasina is a hacker. Okay, you fake the document and then you submit. So Lhdn look at two documents. Which one is the real one? Okay. In order to justify which one is the real one, these things comes in. The digital signature. Okay. So the fake one normally don't have that. Okay. So this is where we justify whether the document, okay, comes which is the real one. Okay. So alright, we move forward. Invoice currency code. Be it Malaysian ringgit, USD, Singapore dollar, no worries, okay? We just issue your invoice and do submission based on the currency code that you bill to client. So client may ask you, hey, can use or not? If let's say I sell to Indonesia, okay, I use Indonesian currency, can, no problem. Doesn't matter because a lot of people they are afraid. They say, oh, I have to submit invoice, so everything must be in ringgit Malaysia. No. Important, your invoice is correct, and then you do submission. That's it. Alright? Okay, so these are all the optional field. Okay? Whether be it you bill daily, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, doesn't matter. Okay? Billing doesn't matter. Billing period doesn't matter. Important, you create invoice, you submit invoice. Okay? Classification. Why is it classification in green color? Because this thing is important. If let's say you create an invoice, you don't put in a classification code, basically you cannot submit invoice. This is one of the most errors come from. Okay? Because this is something new. Okay? When we issue invoice. Normally last time when we issue invoice, what we do? We put in our item code, we put in our description, how many unit, okay, unit of measurement, the quantity and the pricing, that's it. Submit. But now it comes classification code. There's 45 classification code. Later we go into what is the classification code. So basically, the classification code is important. Cannot simply the rubber like that, twist. Okay, this one is number 1. Put 1. No, cannot. Okay, read properly. Then read properly. So the description of the product, what do you sell? Okay. Others basically these are what normally we put in. Okay, if you have text, please put in the text, don't omit it. Okay? Right. If let's say, okay, if your customer is tax exempted, please update it. Okay? Because when they are tax exempted, they got a letter from custom, meaning to show that comfort that they are exempted from tax. Okay? There is an expiry date. The tax exemption is not forever. Ambil satu letter, okay, I'm forever exempted. No, they are expiry date. Okay, so that is why later on, I will show you the implementation where we can key in the exemption number and the exemption date. So we need to renew one. Okay, no free lunch. Okay, no free lunch. Okay, so next. Okay, these are all the related. Some are optional. Okay, so you can go through. Okay, Payment involved all optional. Okay, these are mandatory, okay, and optional fields. They are part, some are list of mandatory, mesti tetap, okay, updated here. They are parts that are optional. Apa itu? Let's look into it. Okay, you notice additional mandatory field to be included is, what is this? Custom form K1. Okay, if, okay, declaration of goods imported. If let's say you are importer, you got custom form K1, okay, you need to key in the permit number. This is mandatory, compulsory, job kena masukkan. Okay, you have to put in. We do receive calls. Okay, optional. We do receive call. What happened? Okay, you are supplier, you are buyer, I am the agent. Okay, sorry, I should be the manufacturer. Okay, I am the manufacturer. You buy from me to sell to your customer. And what happened now is, you buy from me, normally you will say, hey, Tan, please deliver it to my customer. Please ship it to my customer. Okay? So what I did previously, what we all did previously, you issue invoice to your customer, and I just tolong you hantar deliver shipment to them. Okay, I don't take any information. One day I receive a call. Okay, this is true. I received a call. Okay, Linda contacted me. Hey, you know, my manufacturer asked for my client's name, TIN number, okay, all the SST registration number if required, all the compulsory information, address, contact, email. And then Hasina very worried. Wow, E-Invoice needs to provide all this information to my manufacturer. Then in future, my manufacturer will represent me, okay? Will represent me and sell it direct to my customer, right? Then I receive a call. The person quite worried. If like that, future, I will be replaced. Okay, so the thing is that this is optional. You see, shipping recipient name, shipping recipient address, TIN number, the identification number, okay, the SSM number, easy to say. Alright, all these are optional. Don't worry. If Hasina, you get a call from me, your manufacturing request for all these, you can tell the manufacturing these are not compulsory. Okay? So you just ship sahaja, no need to me provide so many information. Take note of this, take note of this. Okay? Because a lot of people they may not be aware, so they are worried that, betul ke? Oh, this kena masuk ke? Then in future I nak bayar buat business, so I jual beli betul kedai. Supaya ibu dah bagi dia. Saya beli customer, database semua kasih dia. Right? Take note. Take note. This really happened. I'm not sure if the manufacturer is aware. This is an optional. Maybe, you know, I'm not sure whether the manufacturer is trying to get more databases. Okay, but this is optional. Okay. E-Invoice data parameter. Okay, just now we looked a lot into the details. So let's look into the parameter. There are 9 parameters. Okay, basically I just repeat what I said earlier. Okay, these are the MSIC code. So just now I keep on saying MSIC code, MSIC code, MSIC code. Okay, what code are these? This code, okay, are to mention, okay, what our business description. Okay, if let's say you are growing of oil seeds, this is your code. Okay, this is your code.
Miss, tapi kalau macam ada customer yang dia tak tahu MIC code, nak check apa MSIC code tu? Nak
Okay,
check.
nak check dekat mana? Okay, every year kena buat filing, especially Sendirian Berhad. Every year kena buat filing dekat SSM. So confirm secondary tahu where is the MSS code. Okay, kalau tak sure, boleh check dekat My Invoice portal.
Tapi sometimes dalam e-invoice portal tu
Blank. Kalau blank, to be fair and to be correct, check with company secretary or accountant dia. Okay, kalau company tu dia sendiri yang buat account, has to auditor, check with company secretary. Definitely company secretary mesti ada sebab dia kena every year buat filing to SSM. Okay, so customer not sure, okay, or you are not aware, you know what MSS code, okay, please check with company secretary. Concept company secretary. Okay, give me 30 seconds. I change battery.
Oh, okay.
Okay, testing. Alright. So check with company secretary. Okay, there are few positions in the company. First, accountant. Accountant, settle accountant, your job, which is to settle all the account. And year end, the account will be passed to auditor. So what is the auditor punya kerja ialah auditor akan check through all the transactions yang accountant sudah buat. And then will justify whether this is true or this is false. Okay, make sure that the accounts are done correctly, and also they will check if all the documents comply, if all the documents are nicely filed. Okay, or the transactions are basically true. So what auditors do basically, sometimes they will check with the bank also. They will directly get data from the bank and they will do the checklist. So after all this, then the tax agent will come in, okay, to calculate all the taxes for the company, how much the company needs to pay to the MHN, okay, to the government. Okay, so what does the company secretary? There's another position, okay, called company secretary. What the company secretary do, okay, is to do the filings. Filings meaning that whatever auditor dah siap kerja, okay, dah settle. Okay, they need to do filing to SSM. Okay, they need to do filing to SSM the report. Okay, yang audited auditors, they need to do filing, they need to sign. So company secretary is definitely the secretary that will always have a term. Okay, so definitely when you start a business, okay, when you register with SSM, we need to put in the MSIC code. So company secretary need to do this part. So company secretary, they are very sure, they know this. Check with company secretary. Definitely other company secretary, especially Sendirian Berhad. So proprietor may not, okay, so proprietor may not. But definitely dekat sole proprietor, when we started company, right, during registration, we need to put in this code. Okay, check back. They can log in, kalau sole proprietor, actually they can log into the SSM. Okay, log into the SSM and check the MSIC code itself. Okay, alright. So next, E-Invoice type, as I mentioned, invoice, credit note, debit note, refund note, self-bill invoice, self-bill credit note, self-bill debit note, self-bill refund note. Okay, so currency code, classification. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, classification is what? Okay, basically if you notice, okay, 001, 002, 002, if you are selling breast feeding equipment, okay, the equipment itself, the device itself, okay, the classification code is 001. If you are selling computers, smartphone or tablets, okay, the item that you input besides, okay, the item code, description, quantity, unit of measurement, part. Lagi satu, classification code. You need the key. Okay? So when you go through, okay, there are 45 classification code. So when you go through, if let's say you cannot find your classification code, whatever, don't cry. Okay? Don't cry. Don't worry. Okay? If you definitely cannot find, it means that your classification code falls under this category. Yes. But don't make a mistake that others, okay lah. Everything also put others. Okay? No such thing, please take note. Okay? We do notice, sometimes. Okay? Tetap, kosong dua. Senang. Okay? Please don't do that. Why? Even though you may feel that, okay, don't have one, okay, but you see, if let's say you did any repair and maintenance services, these are the classification code. And what happened is, if let's say, okay, you are giving donation also for donation classification code. Okay? These are the consolidated E-Invoice 004. Okay? Construction material. Okay, what are these? As defined in the Public Pembangunan Industri Pembinaan Malaysia Act 1994. Okay, what are the construction materials? Okay, construction materials got standard. Selalu you pergi beli barang, you pergi toilet bowl. Normally we don't notice one. Basic got standard code. MS apa. You beli cement. MS apa. All these are construction materials. Cannot consolidate. Cannot consolidate. We'll move on. Any questions? No questions. Then we move on. Okay? We move on. Make sure you key in the correct one. Okay. Number 5, tax type. Okay? If related, you put in. Okay? If related. If you are not SST registered, okay, you don't have sales tax, you don't have service tax, it's okay. Alright? Do you notice that actually you have this sales tax on low value goods? You buy from Lazada and Shopee, you notice or not? You cannot tax. Tak? Next time tengok dalam bawah tu ada sales tax. Okay, ada. Why you tak nampak? Sebab mak dia kecil. Dia nampak, oh, in total still murah lagi dari kedai. Okay lah, beli lah mana. But actually ada sales tax. Kita tahu kan? Ada. Okay, kita tak rasa. Okay, alright. So paper book, this is not compulsory. This is optional. Okay. Country of origin, states, unit of measurement. Okay. Scenario 1, where the buyer requires E-Invoice. Okay. A short question. Where the buyer, the customer requires an E-Invoice? Okay. What are the compulsory things? Maybe you can just raise your hand and answer 1 or 2. What are the compulsory? Let's say I am your customer. I need E-Invoice. I ask you to give me an E-Invoice. Okay? What do you need? What do I need to provide you? Alright? Company registration number. Good. Anyone guess? Company name. Yes, that's company name. Now we to sample. Alright? Company name, TIN, business registration number. What else? Address, contact, and probably you will need my email because you need to email me the invoice. e-invoice. Okay, don't worry. This is not an exam. Why? Okay, if you notice, if now you go out, let's say you go down to the family mart to buy things. Okay, and then the family mart will give you a receipt. Dekat bawah sana you nampak ada satu QR code. So you scan out of curiosity, you scan. So when you scan, dekat bawah receipt sana ada mention. If you require e-invoice, please scan. So you scan. It will ask for your company name, PIN number, business registration number, address, contact number, email address, 6 things. Okay, if let's say, okay, you want to claim under your own personal name, yes, can. Fill in your name, IC, PIN number, address, contact, email. The same thing, fill in. And then please notice there are very small words within 3 days. Supermarket normally 3 days. Cafe, Zeus coffee. Oops. Okay. 7 days. Popular bookshop 30 hari. Okay? So dia nak encourage you beli buku lah, dia bagi 30 hari. Okay? Why? Please get e-invoice for books because can deduct personal income tax. Okay? Alright? So where the buyer requires an e-invoice, apa kita kena buat? Let me show you a real implementation what we should do. Okay? So when the buyer requires an e-invoice, so when the buyer needs an e-invoice, what do we do? Okay, a real implementation here. Okay, this is what we do when the buyer requests e-invoice. Okay, so if you notice, when the buyer requires an invoice, so basically what we do here is that we issue one invoice. Okay, so right. Okay, so now we select one company, and then you will notice all the informations are filled in. Okay, the name, the address, the business registration number, the contact also inside. Okay, and definitely the PIN number. Okay, so when all these informations are filled in, as just now when we mentioned all the compulsory fields, okay, and then what we do here is, okay, we select the customer, and then we key in the item that we are going to sell. Okay, so we have the item code, we have the description of our item, the quantity, the unit of measurement, the price, and definitely the important thing just now as mentioned, okay, the classification. So the classification is very important. We have to know this item belongs to which classification. Okay, which classification. So when all the informations are filled, you save the invoice, okay, and you submit e-invoice. So when all the compulsory fields are filled in correctly, okay, this is what we do just now. As mentioned in the slide, we submit the invoice to Lhdn, and this is what the Lhdn returned to us, a validated e-invoice with this QR code. Okay, inside there's information of us, our company, okay, and our customer. Okay. Alright, so now when we are trying to send this report to our customer, okay, you will see that inside this report will have QR. Okay. Okay. So okay, here we go. What happened? Okay, what to generate e-invoice. Okay, I send this. It is not valid. I cannot submit. What happened? First thing first, whenever we encounter error in submission, cannot submit e-invoice, we must come back to the 35 compulsory field. Okay, then we go through. Company name, yes. Business registration number, yes. Address, yes. Country, postcode, city, state, yes. Phone number, yes. We go to tax. You will notice no PIN number. Okay, so cannot submit e-invoice. Okay, cannot submit. Next, try another customer. I try another customer. Okay, I issue another invoice. Okay, I save and I submit. You see, error again. Why? Country is required. 35 compulsory field, you will notice these are not filled in. Okay, you need to fill in. Okay, then let's go through. No T number. That is why when customer requests e-invoice, they must provide us all the information. Okay, lack of one information, we will not be able to submit e-invoice. And whenever there is an error encountered during submission, meaning that the 35 compulsory field, one of it does not fulfill. That is why there is error during submission. Okay, so come back to our slides here. Okay, come back to our slides. Next, okay, that this is a recap. For Malaysian individual buyers, we must provide TIN. Okay, we must provide all this information. Okay, for non-Malaysian, we can provide passport number. Okay, if you are a business, you must provide business registration number. Okay, this is the TIN that must be filled in. Okay, so buyer's name, TIN number, okay, must be filled in. Right? If the buyers, the customer got SSD, make sure you put in. Else, for non-SSD registered buyer, it is not applicable. You can put not available and A. Alright? Okay, next. When the buyer does not require invoice, so definitely when I buy something for you, I don't need an invoice. I will not provide you my name, my PIN number, my address, all this information. Tak payah bagi, I tak nak bagi sebab I tak nak invoice. So what do we do? Okay, so what do? We consolidate the invoice. So what is consolidate invoice? Okay, we go to cash sales. Okay, we can issue an invoice. We don't know the company, we don't know the name. So we name it as a cash sales. I sell it cash. Okay, there is no information inside because the buyer do not need e-invoice. Definitely no information. Okay, tax, we must put general public. Okay, tax must put general public. Even though customer do not need, okay, the e-invoice, okay, definitely we must fill in the TIN. And the TIN is general public EI 9010. Okay, so what happens if we don't put in the TIN number? Okay, I show you example. If we don't put in a TIN number, we just create a cash sales. Okay, no information inside. Now I create an invoice under this name with no data, customer data, I save, alright, I save, and then I create another cash sales. Okay, I save it. Now I have two cash sales consolidate, okay, because I don't have, okay, the details, the customer do not need e-invoice. So I come over to invoice, okay, I come over to invoice, and then I do submission, okay, I consolidate, okay, make sure that the customer key in correctly and choose consolidate, and you will notice that, okay, I want to consolidate these two invoices that I created today, okay, so I submit, okay. If we didn't put in the T number just now, you will not be able to do submission, okay, there will be error. So that's why you need to key in the T number, then only can submit as general public, right? So we need to make sure we update all the correct information, alright? So let's come back to the slide. Okay. We consolidate the invoice when the customer do not need e-invoice. This is called consolidated e-invoice. That is a new regulations. If your invoice is above 10K, 10,000 dan ke atas, the invoice, satu invoice above 10K, okay, tak boleh consolidate, okay, cannot consolidate, okay, cannot consolidate. So must be aware, 10,000 tak boleh consolidate. Customer nak, tak nak, kita sama invoice. Okay, this is the new regulation. Okay. Okay, so this is the process. Scenario 1, where the buyer requires an e-invoice, okay, supplier obtain buyer's detail, submit the invoice to IRB, okay, and get the validated e-invoice, alright. If the customer do not need the e-invoice, normal invoice, normal receipt, macam dekat post kita beli barang, I give you the receipt like that, okay, and then I consolidate all these receipt on a monthly basis and submit satu to IRB. Macam tadi consolidate lah dari invoice nombor apa sampai invoice nombor I submit. Tapi above 10K tak boleh consolidate. That's it. Above 10K. 10K and above. Okay, so now I want to sell you my invoice 10K. Okay, you said you don't need a e-invoice. I have to submit e-invoice as well. You kena bagi, you punya details dekat I juga. Sebab I tak boleh consolidate. Right? Next. Okay, so when the buyer does not request e-invoice, still we need to put in TIN. Okay, and the TIN number is EI 0000000010. Okay, general public. What if the customer come back and say, Yati, I need an e-invoice after you have consolidated the invoice and already submitted? What happened? What is your response? You buy it again lah. You buy another set lah. Then I now issue you an e-invoice. Okay? That is the reason why at the bottom of the post receipt it mentioned within 3 days. Because maybe probably on the 4th day they already submit consolidate. Okay? So they will not be able to provide you with e-invoice. Okay? If your customer still insists, and it could be a very important customer to you, you have the option, yes, you can cancel, I mean, you cannot cancel because already validated. You can CM credit note, but it will be a very heavy work. So you might as well say, you buy again lah. Now I give you invoice. Okay? with the description here, you mention which receipt number and is consolidated. Okay, classification 004 and total how much? Okay, this is a summary of all receipts presented as a single line item in the consolidated invoice. Alright, next. Buyer who can apply consolidated e-invoice. Okay, easy to say. Any buyers who do not need the e-invoice, you can consolidate. Okay, alright. So we will have a 5 minutes break and we can come back after the 5 minutes break. Take a break. Okay, alright. The error. Okay, let me cut this off. Okay, tapi memang ada break. Okay. Alright, welcome back from the break. Okay, how's your tea break? Okay, enough. Maybe you have already networked just now. Okay, alright, let's come back to our topic. Okay, now we want to look into siapa tak boleh consolidate. Okay, ada 7 jenis industri, 7 industry. So please take note. Please take note. Why? 7 industries cannot consolidate e-invoice. Who cannot consolidate? Alright, first, automotive. Selling of motor vehicle. You beli kereta tak boleh consolidate. I mean, if as a seller, I tak boleh consolidate lah. Okay? Tak boleh. Beli kereta memang tak boleh consolidate. And definitely beli kereta is more than 10K lah. So, cannot consolidate. Second thing, aviation. Naik terbang-terbang. Tak boleh consolidate. You beli aviation ticket, tak boleh consolidate. Okay? Luxury goods and jewelry, details will be released, belum release lagi. What is considered luxury? How much is considered luxury? Belum ada details. Next, construction. Okay, construction contractor, when you are engaged with construction, tak boleh consolidate. You kena e-invoice. And the next, number 5, okay, wholesalers and retailers of construction material. Why you cannot consolidate as contractor? You know why? Okay, now I conduct a huge reconstruction work for a customer. Okay, I need to submit invoice. I book up invoice to the customer. I need to submit invoice. I need to get the customer detail. Let's say Yati is my customer. I need to get your IC. Okay, I need to get your IC. I need to submit invoice to you. Why? Because when I as contractor, I go and buy materials. Okay, all these materials also cannot consolidate. Okay, so let's say now Ping. Okay, Ping is supplier. Okay, selling cement, pasir, all this. Okay, and as a contractor, I buy from Ping. Ping will get my company information to submit the invoice. Okay, Ping cannot consolidate. Okay, so following all the standards, pasir. If let's say I cukup, I not enough one packet cement also, I get my bakala to go to Ping's retail to buy. Then Ping will say, okay, din nombor. Company name, din nombor. Okay, so Ping will get all this information. Okay, so Ping cannot consolidate. Construction material, one packet. Why I say one packet? Sale of construction material regardless of volume sold. Regardless meaning satu packet pun kena invoice. Okay, so be prepared. Construction materials supplier, contractors, be prepared because cannot consolidate. Okay, license, betting and gaming. Okay, we win Toto. Okay, sorry, maybe this is not applicable. We cannot beli Toto. Okay, if let's say I pergi beli Toto, I win the Toto. Yes, then I belanja you makan. Okay, alright. I win And then payment to agent, okay, this is another one. Payment to agent and dealers, okay. Let's say property company, okay, property company got many agents, okay. Then the agents will get commission for all the property they want to jual or they sell or they rent, okay. As a company, property company, okay, my agency will need to provide you a commission if you are my agent. So I need to do invoice. Okay? Okay? So people may come and ask, you already give CP for 58. CP 58, CP 58 is the form that you will get yearly. Okay? I need to issue you a CP 58 yearly. Okay? To show you macam EA form lah. Okay? Macam, tapi dia bukan EA form. Macam EA form. So that you can declare your income to Lhdn, right? So you can declare your income. But now as a property agency, I need to issue invoice. I cannot consolidate. If let's say I have 2,000 agents, I issue 2,000. Yes, I need to do self-bill invoice, right? I cannot consolidate. And that this is the new update. Any single transaction with a value exceeding 10,000 cannot. Take note, take note. Okay, take note. Alright, what are considered the wholesalers and retailers of construction materials? These are the things. You want to repair your toilet bowl, you buy a toilet bowl. Okay? And then you will notice toilet bowl also got this MSEN logo. Okay? Macam ini. Okay, this is a basic. Next, this one. All these are considered construction material that only consolidate. So next time if you want to repair your basic or your toilet bowl at home, you go and buy a toilet bowl, then the lady will say, I see please. Okay? Because I cannot consolidate. I see please, then you like, I beli toilet bowl. How about I see? Alright? These are all the construction materials. Okay? Can I use statement as E-Invoice? Okay? Phone bill every month. Statement. Okay? Choi, we masuk hospital. Hospital by statement. Okay? So the answer is yes. Okay? On a periodic basis. Okay? Some businesses, okay, they can issue E-Invoice. Okay, got one question. Got one question. Okay, many people ask, okay, you are the staff of the company, you are the company employees. Okay, you are entitled to claim your petrol bill. Okay, so you go to the petrol station, you pump. And then petrol station got e-receipt, post receipt. Down there got the QR code. You scan. Okay, you scan, you fill in. Then imagine one month, let's say you are the marketing manager. Every day you travel. Every day you pump petrol at the different petrol station. Every day you need to scan. Because other tiga hari saja for this request invoice. Okay, so you may encounter like you feel like troublesome. Okay, you feel like troublesome. So what happened? You can get the company to go to any petrol stations and get a petrol card. And you pump anywhere. Okay, let's say you get a Caltex or a Shell petrol. You pump. End of the month, the petrol station give you a statement, E-Invoice. You tak payah scan. This is the way. Okay, now petrol station they are upselling. Okay, you when call in, they will say, oh, okay, petrol card. We give you a statement, E-Invoice, then you don't need to keep on scan. Okay, this is the way. Yes, if they want to subscribe the card, definitely it's under company lah. Alright. How about payment on behalf? Okay, now I want to show you payment on behalf. Disbursement or reimbursement. I think a lot of people they are not very clear what is disbursement and reimbursement. Okay, this one you have to at least know a little. Okay, even you not clear what are these. Okay, disbursement. This is a disbursement. Disbursement meaning that this is the customer. This is you. Okay, this is the supplier. Okay. I use an example of insurance agent. Okay, this is insurance agent. Okay, insurance agent. Cannot really because insurance cannot be on behalf. Let's say event planner. You are the event planner. You plan event for your customer. So as event planner, probably the buffet is directly billed to the buyer. Okay, the buffet is directly billed to the buyer. Okay, and then the compound also directly billed to the buyer. And then the flowers also directly billed to the buyer. Okay, so you pay for your buyer on behalf. Okay, you pay for your buyer on behalf. And then what happened is this is called disbursement. Okay, you have no untungan, from this supplier. Definitely you will bill this buyer maybe event planning charges. Okay, then that event planning charges you issue invoice and then you submit. The rest of this is called disbursement. Okay. I make a very simple example lah for those yang ada kereta punya. Motor pun sama, okay? Bicycle tak ada, okay? Okay, bicycle tak ada, motor dengan kereta, okay? You buy insurance for your car, okay? You buy insurance. Let's say you buy MSIG or apa insurance? AIA, okay? AIA, kereta punya kan? Okay, you buy AIA insurance. So the insurance company will direct you to you, E-Invoice to you, but you pay to the agent. Okay, so I am the agent. I help you to make the payment on behalf. I don't earn a cent from you because insurance company bills 1,000, you pay 9,000. I just pay on behalf, but definitely I have charges, maybe a service charge. 100 ringgit. Then I issue invoice to you 100 ringgit. That is my sales. Besides that, this is disbursement. Okay, this is disbursement. Okay. Later on, when I tell you about reimbursement, maybe you will get a clearer picture. Okay. Classification code for disbursement is 006. Why? Insurance company bill you 1,000. This 1,000 is not my sales. My sales is only the 100 ringgit for the service charges. So this is not considered my sales. If I were to include this item inside my invoice, I need to put the code 006. Okay, not my sales. Okay, so reimbursement. Okay, this is very easy. Example, nanti you buy a chair from me, and then you say, aku masa pergi angkat tolong pakai lalang. Okay, you ask me to get you a lalang move. So I call the lalang move lah. I guna app. Get a lalang move. Okay, so lalang move bill I because I guna app. Lalang move bill I 50 ringgit. I bill you 50 ringgit. I don't earn you a cent. I help you to get a lalang move. So this is reimbursement. The lalang bill me, I bill you, but I don't earn a single cent. Then this is reimbursement. But I have to put in the lalang trade inside my invoice. Okay, because I nak claim balik I can block. Okay, so this is reimbursement. If let's say I panggil Lala 50 ringgit, I say, you tak tahu kan? I charge you 100 ringgit. Then this is sales. This is not reimbursement. This is sales. Okay? So classification code for reimbursement is 027. So before I go into this, I show you an example of the reimbursement. Okay, you will notice that now I issue invoice. Okay, I sell the check 700 to Yati, and then I tolong Yati panggil Lala Move. Okay, I don't earn a single cent from this Lala Move. Lala Move charge me one trip. Okay, door to door, 50 ringgit. I charge to Yati 50 ringgit, and then you will notice there is this code 027 reimbursement, because this is not my sales. This is I tolong service. So safe. Okay, so you will notice classification code is very important. Okay, very important. And then submit invoice. That's it. Alright, so come back to the slide here. Okay. Employment prerequisite and benefit. This is very important. Okay, in future, if you want to claim from the company, please make sure you provide the company invoice. Okay, if let's say you have a company to go and NSK buy pantry items, please get invoice. Okay, to claim from the company. Okay, to claim from the company. Gaji tak bayar invoice, tak ada kena. Okay, so staff claim, please provide invoice to the company. No invoice, staff claim reject. Okay, mileage claim, no worries. Fill in the form saja. Same, tak payah apa-apa. Mileage claim. Parking tak ada invoice, claim as usual. Okay, tol tak ada invoice, claim as usual. Benda-benda yang ada invoice kena ambil invoice. Makanan lah, restoran lah. Okay, so belian kena ada invoice. Kalau let's say you go to the shop and then you want to get invoice, okay, but you don't have company TIN number, use your own TIN number, can, no problem. Use your own name, IC, TIN number, no problem. As, most important, you get the invoice. Okay? Okay. So all these expenses, toll, mileage, parking, okay, they are all claimable without invoice. Okay, so do you think that invoice is only sales, is only proof of income? Yes. Yes. Who say yes? Raise your hand. Who say no? Raise your hand. Then the rest, 50-50 sitting on the wall for now. Okay? Nanti sitting on the wall selalu during lecture time kan lecturer cakap, jangan duduk atas dinding, nanti you cucuk you punya botol. Okay? So, proof of income, yes, the answer is no. Self-bill E-Invoice, proof of expenses. When you prove your income, you also need to prove your expenses. Mana bagi you punya wang, you kena prove. So, payments to agents, tadi kita ada mention, we need to self-bill. Okay? E-commerce transaction, okay. Nah, tadi siapa sini curi-curi ada part time? Jual barang kat Lazada dan TikTok. Nasib baik cakap tak ada recording. Okay, so, okay, so kalau you have friends, if you have friends who are doing Lazada business TikTok, okay, please inform them. Make sure that you register company. Make sure they register company. Why? Because Lazada, Shopee, TikTok, all these platforms, they will do self-bill E-Invoice. Okay? Let's say Yati ada jual barang dekat Shopee. So you tak create company. You hobby part-time kan, additional income. So you sell. And then end of the year, wow, suddenly business very good. You get maybe 500K from Shopee alone. Punya itu commission. Wow, banyak. So what happened is Shopee will self-bill you. Submit your income to the Lhdn. And then Lhdn say, ni siapa ni? Macam tak ada company. Okay, what happened? Tax. Personal income tax. So this is very, very important with friends, with commercial e-commerce business. Make sure to register SSL. Okay. And then payout. Okay, this is payout automatic. Good. So, okay, if you purchase from foreign company, buy goods, service, Taobao, lagi mana? Facebook marketing. Okay, we need to do self-bill. We need to declare. Okay, this money I pay out to Facebook for marketing purposes. We need to do self-bill. Okay, okay. So this is acquisition of goods and service from individual taxpayers. Okay, this is a lot of people will ask. Okay, let's say Yati, you are a business person. Okay, you sell, you distribute fish. Okay, saya nelayan, saya tak ada company, saya ada boat saja. I have a boat. I go out to the sea. I catch the fish. I sell to you. Okay. Normally, as supplier, as I said, supplier, I need to provide me E-Invoice. But the thing now is, I don't have a company. I just own a boat. I go out to the sea. I catch fish. I come back and sell you. So what you need to do? You need to do self-bill E-Invoice. And then you say, give me your IC. I do self-bill. Because you need to prove that this payment you paid to me, but I am not conducting business. So I need to give you IC, you self-bill to prove your expenses. Okay, if let's say I tak nak, macam mana? I don't want. I don't want. Because I don't want I don't want Lhdn to know how much I have. No, I don't want. What happened? If you insist to buy from me, and I refuse to give you my IC, you cannot submit self-bill invoice. And what happened is, you bear the tax. You bear the tax. Okay? So, this is acquisition of goods and services from individual taxpayers. Another thing, rental. This one common question people will come and ask you. Rental. If you rent your company, I don't say you, your company rent a shop lot from the landlord, and the landlord is an individual. They don't have a company. So you need to self-bill the landlord. You need to get the IC. That one is not a big problem because agreement sana atas sudah ada name IC. No problem. Self-bill. Declare this payment is for rental, is the expenses. Self-bill to Mr. Okay. Profit distribution, dividend distribution. Let's proceed. Okay. Profit distribution in Malaysia do not need to get to do E-Invoice. Okay. This one I just pass through. Alright. If rental, okay. What happened is suddenly you notice, ayo, itu rental ada 3 landlord What do you do? Linda, can you guess? What do you do if the rental is 3 owner, 3 owner? Self-bill, 3 orang. Based on percentage.
Jadi yang pendek.
No, you have to self-bill 3 orang. Yes. You have to self-bill. Unless, I cakap, I bayar the tax lah semua. You bayar self-bill saya satu saja. Okay, kalau tak nak, dia tak nak, okay, self-bill 3 orang. Alright? Okay, so this part of the rental, I will show you how to do self-bill. Okay, this part is very important. How to do self-bill for rental, how to do self-bill for commission. Okay, this part is important because you may need it. Okay, so all these are required. Cross-border goods or services. Okay, these are the general thing. Please take note. These are the general thing. This general thing meaning that you have to fill in. Okay, if consolidate e-invoice, you will use this. Okay, foreign buyer. If your customer is a foreigner, they have a TIN number. Okay, if you buy from overseas supplier, this is the foreign supplier TIN. And if you sell it to the government, okay, you have to key in this. Alright, so everybody got TIN number, got company TIN number, personal TIN number, and if those overseas or those publics, we have TIN number. So TIN number cannot be empty out. If we don't fill in the TIN number, we cannot do e-invoice submission. Be it e-invoice, be it consolidated, be it self-bill, cannot. Okay, so TIN number is important. Okay, I have to say it 3 times, it's important. Because if you don't fill in, you cannot do any house submission. Okay, so when people come to you say, I don't have TIN number, means it may be that person don't want e-invoice, so don't have TIN number, so you put in general thing. If the customer come to you say, yeah, so you use the general one. If you say the supplier overseas, where got TIN number got? Okay, this one. My customer overseas one, where got TIN number got? This one. I sell to government, where got TIN number got? This one. Okay, TIN number cannot empty. Must fill in. Okay, must fill in. Okay, so how to fill in? I show you. This is very important. Take note, yeah. Okay, take note. Okay, so how to do self-bill? Okay, when in the purchase, okay, how to do self-bill? If okay, your teammates, your colleagues come to you, say, Linda, okay, now I have a foreign supplier here invoice. Okay, I need to do self-bill. I call you, how to do it? Okay, you come to purchase invoice. You must come to purchase invoice. Okay, then need to key in. Okay, key in the foreign supplier invoice. Okay, definitely the supplier will give you invoice and then you key in, and then when you save, okay, save here, come to submit the invoice. And just now if you notice, I submit customer invoice, it is called as E-Invoice. Now I submit supplier invoice, okay, this purchase invoice, it's known as, okay, I need to refresh. The server is busy. Okay, I show you the previous one that I have submitted. Okay. Maybe I'll come back later because the survey is busy now. We submit as self-bill invoice. Okay? Okay, need to take note. Why? Because there are possibilities. Okay, we need to do this. Okay, make sure you know how to do it. Make sure you know how to do it. Okay. Any question for foreign supply? If there's an error anyhow, okay, make sure you come back to the supplier and you check if all the information are filled correctly. Okay. Must have TIN number. Okay, so anyhow after complete, okay, this part, take note. How to do self-bill e-invoice, okay, for rental. For rental, many people will come to you and then they say, how to do self-bill for rental? Then you can go to cash flow entry here. You key in your expenses here. Okay, new payment voucher, you key in the name of the landlord. you update here which bank you make the payment, and then here you put in as rental. Okay, rental. You key in the amount of the saver, the rental. Okay, you will notice there is also a classification code here. Yeah? Okay, if it don't appear, please bring this classification code up like this. If it don't appear, you click it appear. Okay, and by default system will put 036 others. If this is not others, this is the payment to the agent. Please choose the correct classification code. And what happens is next, you need to do self-bill. You need to update this landlord's information, name, address, okay, phone number, submission, self-bill. Okay, put in the IC number here, and you will be able to search the PIN. Okay, normally it's like this. It's not filled in. You search. PIN must be filled in. Okay, and save. And the next thing is you can do submission. Okay, the server is busy now, so we are unable to display this. Okay, so this is where we do self-bill e-invoice for rental. Okay, for rental. Okay, for rental. So after you have done this part, settle. Okay, you may have encountered a few problems here. Okay, this we need to take note. What are the problems here? Okay, you will notice payment to the name. Okay, sometimes, okay, you in order to maybe easily record, okay, most probably you don't write in the full name. You write Aboy Lim. Okay? If anyhow you write like this, okay, you anyhow write like this, you will have error in submission. Okay? Because we cannot recognize. By right, the full name is Ate, then it become Aboy. Make sure the payment here contains only the name. Okay? Don't have like Aboy, Ati, Abang, Ade, no. Okay? Make sure you key in the name correctly. The 35 compulsory field. Okay? So this one you take note, okay? Then after that you do submission. Same thing here, if let's say you may be asked, okay, you may be asked how to do self-bill for agents for commission purposes. Okay, you come to this payment voucher, you fill in the name as well, and then you key in the correct code. Okay, as the user of this software, okay, he or she needs to know which code to use. Okay, we may not know, but the person needs to know. Like your company, you need to know what code is using. If you are in charge of this, you need to know. Okay, don't come and ask me what code to use. I will not know. Okay, and after that you key in. Same thing, you put in the information here and save, submit, e-invoice. Okay, alright. So this is the part to do self-billing. Okay, self-billing. We come back to the slides here. Okay, so you need to make sure you are aware of all these TIN numbers. There are 4 general TIN numbers you need to be aware of. Okay, when you are approached, okay, or when you need to do submission, you need to know. If any of the TIN is empty, okay, you cannot do submission. And these are most of the errors that appear. Okay. Okay. So what happened within this 6-month interim relaxation period? 6-month e-invoice relaxation period? No, not aware. Okay. When the customer start e-invoice this year, 1st July, they got 6 months period. We call it as interim relaxation period. Not to sit there and wait for the durian to fall. No, okay? Not to be really relaxed, but this is to enhance and to allow the transition of the invoice. Okay? So if let's say the customer on board 1st of January 2026, then only the 6-month interim relaxation starts. So it starts based on our implementation date. Get it? Okay, good. So what are the do and don'ts? Okay, the 6-month interim relaxation period doesn't mean that we do not need to submit e-invoice. We need to submit. Okay, we need to submit. Okay, so we can issue consolidated e-invoice. Right? We can issue consolidated invoice. So meaning that let's say I start next month. Okay, 1st of July 2025, I start next month. I have 6 months. July, August, September, October, November, December. I have 6-month relaxation period. I am a construction material supplier. My invoice cannot consolidate, right? By law, I cannot. But this 6-month interim relaxation period, I can consolidate invoice. You cannot provide me your IC. She cannot provide me her company T number. Doesn't matter. I can consolidate. But the best practice is submit invoice. Okay? Because the allowance is only 6 months. Imagine after the 6 months or the 7 months. If you then the customer will say, last time also no need. You already start now, but no need. How come now need already? So the 6 months is for us to practice, not to make it a habit that last time no need now, why need? Yeah. So when you start, you tell your customer, I need to submit invoice. My industry I cannot consolidate. So please give me IC. So when you started at the beginning, you ask for the IC, you ask for the passport, you ask for the company number they give you. So after 6 months, no problem. They know they must give you. Okay, so you say, tak apalah, tak payahlah, tiba-tiba you ask. And then the customer will say, I thought you started already last year. Then how come this year now only you want this IC? Tak payahlah. Okay, so this month is critical. Don't try to make the best out of it. Okay? Still need to submit. Bila nak submit consolidate by 7th of the next month. Okay? So, what will happen on the 7th? On the 7th, people will rush to submit. You know lah, everyone to do last minute. Don't do it in such a way. Best practice, okay? You follow up your colleagues, you follow up your, you follow up your suppliers or you follow up customers, okay? Get them to submit 1 or 2 invoice, or you submit 1 or 2 invoice first week. And when you get the confident to do submission, you will start to do batch submission. And then you start to do consolidate. Okay, don't make it to the last minute. I encounter customers who likes to do it last minute on the 7th. Imagine 1st until 31st, all invoice submit on the 7th, last day, final day, consolidate some more invoice. What happened? By right, submission needs to put in right. Semua tak ada tin, semua tak ada key, semua last minute. On the 7, tak sempat submit semua transaction. Okay, don't wait until the last minute. Okay, so on the 7th of your phone. No, kidding. Okay, so this is the interim relaxation period. All these 7 industry, boleh consolidate, can consolidate, and then, okay, take note lah. The industries, the consolidate item number 8, all industries, one invoice above 10K cannot consolidate. That one under time frame, okay, under time frame, starting 1st January 2026, okay, that one cannot consolidate, okay, walaupun tetapi relaxation period kena submit, starting 1st January, okay. When must the consolidate cell view be submitted? Please take note by 7 of each calendar month. Make sure, okay, we don't hold the responsibility. Every person, every company hold the responsibility. Okay? So details to be input by buyer for consolidated cell view. Okay, consolidate as mentioned. This is the theme, general public. Okay, details to be input by buyer for consolidated cell view. All the information as mentioned. Okay, these are the classification code for cell view. 009 cell view E-Invoice to seller, logistics, etc. Okay, cell view. This is upper Shopee, Lazada. Okay, 033 cell view banking and gaming. This is upper Magnum and Totowa. Okay. Cell view importation of goods, importation of services, and others. This is what we do. Monetary payments to agents. These are all what the insurance agent and the property companies and also the loan agencies with agents do. Non-monetary payments to agents. This is monetary. Ini hadiah. Bagi hadiah pun kena buat cell view. Okay, also empat. Okay, take note. Okay, so we take a second break. Okay, then we come back to Q&A. Okay, welcome back from the break. Alright. Okay, so this is the first part Q&A. This is the first part Q&A. Can I know any questions from the floor? Encounter any issues during this period of time?
I want to submit E-Invoice. Is there any period within 7 days or 23 days I have to submit the E-Invoice?
Okay, for E-Invoice, okay, E-Invoice, there is no deadline. E-Invoice, you need to make sure you get all the information from the customer. Okay, and then that one to submit E-Invoice. E-Invoice no time frame. You can issue and then you start submit. So you wait. Maybe you say, I want to make sure the customer make payment to me first. Okay? You wait. Then after customer pay payment, you say, okay, chop, submit E-Invoice. But the thing is, we may have encountered issues. Customer say, you bagi E-Invoice dulu, else I tak nak buat payment. I threaten you. Okay? So, then you can submit lah. So that is why I think that's my personal opinion. That okay, probably okay, there's no time frame because definitely I want to get invoice only I pay you. Okay, so anyhow you still have. Okay, any other questions? What receipts you need to get? What invoice you need to get? Receipts entitled to do submission. What are the documents? Yes.
What if the invoice is 6 months, right? So if I don't have a business and then suddenly my freelance got 500K, but after the invoice punya pembayaran, do I need to wait for next invoice?
Maksudnya you nak boleh repeat tak? You punya question.
Okay, invoice kan
Ya.
kena bayar next month kan?
Yes, kena submit. Consolidate invoice kena submit by next month punya 7. Yes.
Untuk
Okay, you reach 500k. Okay, you punya e-invoice start date next year, July 1st. You gonna start report 1st July. Let's say 2025, okay, you haven't reached 500k yet, okay, you don't need to do e-invoice, okay, but 2026, you mencecah 500k, okay, you mencecah 500k, 2026, you are entitled for 1 year honeymoon, which is 2027, you honeymoon, 2028 1st January you gonna start. Okay? That honeymoon is for us to do preparation. Okay? Because we already reached 500k, we have 1 year to do preparation. That is when, okay, your itu annual turnover in 2026 dah mencecah. So let's say this year you dah cecah 500, definitely next year 1st July you gonna know. Okay? Alright?
But they need to register the business first, right?
Yes.
Because I do part-time. Then suddenly I have part-time lebih 500k, I have to register.
Okay. Okay, that one is your part-time. Okay? Okay. You can register as a business. You can register as business. Okay? So you can register as business. Kalau tidak, what will happen? Itu 500 semua jadi you punya income. Kalau let's say you definitely you start up business, you buat kuih. Okay, misal business you buat kuih. Buat kuih you need tepung lah, garam lah, gula lah, margarine. Okay, these are your expenses. Okay, kalau tidak, everything will become your profit. So you need to set up a company. Then in the company only you will, okay, you will do an account. Okay, I buy this, I sell this, and after selling, I deduct my expenses. This is my profit. Then this is taxable. Okay, kalau tidak macam Shopee Lazada, part-time freelance, berjual. I tak ada company. So when the Lazada or Shopee, okay, sell you my name, what will happen? LHDN will see, Utan, wow, very nice jualan, 500,000. Congratulations, you are being taxed. Okay, and then you say, I got expenses, I got petrol, I got. You are not a registered company, so these are considered your profit, your income. Okay, so then buka company, right? Okay, yeah. Ada question? If
I don't pay the tax, so I get fined
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah.
So if
Oh, you dah check? Yang tu dia tak buat e-invoice. Ini dia ada side income tapi tak declare tax. Kena bayar tax, kena declare tax. Oh, okay. The blacklist. Jadi tak boleh cuti Malaysia lah. Boleh naik kelas kan? Ya, tak boleh ke overseas, boleh cuti Malaysia. Bas tiket. Nanti bas tiket you beli tak invoice. Kena. Kalau you nak, dia kena bagi you invoice. Okay? So whatever sekarang when you go out, invoice. Okay? Kena tengok lah. Okay, so another questions always asked. 500k and below, we do not need to do any invoice. But that's a regulation. Above 10k punya invoice, Okay, the one is above 10K cannot consolidate. So the first criteria is selagi saya tak cecah 500K, I do not need to comply to E-Invoice. The consolidated card will not come in. Okay, so the first criteria is I mencecah 500K, I go to the second card, I onboard E-Invoice. Okay, below 10K I can consolidate invoice, above 10K I cannot consolidate. Okay, so you may have friends or your whatever will come to you and ask, Andy, my company have not reached 500K, so now I have an invoice to customer above 10K. Should I include the invoice? Yeah. But my company not yet reached 500K. But I have a 10K invoice, macam mana? No need invoice, yes. Go ahead, no need invoice. Okay, go ahead. Alright, so this is discussion. Any topics from the floor that you would like to discuss? Any topics regarding related lah? Related. Okay, go ahead. Okay, so is there any issue when linking the submission part? Oh, okay, very good. You remind me one thing. Okay, this we will go to the next part of Q&A. Okay, right? My invoice. Okay, for this part, I will show you, okay, when you log into my invoice portal, okay, when we log into my invoice portal, how do we do submission? Okay, how do we do submission? Okay, so at this portal, this is my invoice portal. After logging in, okay, we go to new documents. Okay. New documents, here we can submit E-Invoice. Type of document, if you remember, choose one type of document. See, here this is government's my invoice portal. We have invoice, credit note, debit note, refund note, sell bill, invoice, sell bill, credit note, sell bill, debit note, sell bill, refund. Choose the document you wish to submit. Okay, so now you submit invoice. Okay, document version. Okay, this is the document version just now mentioned. Okay, you won't see this in the software. Okay, so you start. Okay, start the my game. Okay, so this part E-Invoice number. Okay, this one can be edited to align with your own organization, or it can be automatically generated. Let's say you have your own invoice number, okay, you can key in, and then date and time issued, okay, or you can choose to get it auto-generated, and then you continue. Okay, now we come to the second part, okay, the supplier and buyer. So the supplier is us, and the buyer is our customer, okay. So if you notice, scan QR code. This is where you remember the QR code. Okay, generated from the customer's My Invoice portal. Okay, you can scan, but definitely you will need to use tag lah, iPad or tag, okay, to scan. Imagine you use computer, how to scan? Okay, you scan and this will be filled in. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, this will be filled in. If you are using a computer, you can key in. Okay, business registration number, you key in the registration number, you key in the TIN number, you key in the company name. Okay, SSD registration number, telephone number. See, email is optional. Okay, address line 1, 2, 3. Okay, you see, first line is compulsory. So if you do not want to key in all the information, definitely it's okay. City, country, state must fill in. After you fill in, you click continue. Okay, you click continue, and then you need to add item. What are these items? These are your selling item. Okay, so you sell, you need to key in the classification code. You choose your classification code here. Okay, then you type in, okay, computer, okay. Quantity, how many you need? Quantity you can put in, and then you put in your unit of measurement. And I would like to tell you here we have around 2,000 UOM. Okay, you can select. After that, you key in the unit price. Okay, if you have discount, update here, else it's optional. And then you put in the tax type if yes, and then you add. And when you add, okay, you added one item. Imagine you have 50 items. Yes, you key. Okay? It's okay. You just key. Okay? Key in and then you add. Done. Then you continue. Macam main game lah. Okay? These are optionals. You don't have to key in if not required. Shipping information, these are optionals as well. Okay? And then, okay, after you have done, you key in, continue. Okay. If all the informations are done, key in, you sign and submit. If you cannot sign and submit, because I didn't key in all the compulsory, so you cannot. Okay? So this one is you completed submission of one e-invoice. So what happened? Okay? If you want to submit, okay, credit note, okay, all this basically the same thing. Okay? The same thing. Sell bill invoice, start. Okay? After you started, next, continue. You key in your supplier. You key in your foreign supplier. Okay? And then you key in already, you click continue, and you add item. Add the item here, add whatever that you purchase. Okay? Done. Then you continue. Continue, and then you do submission. This is for self-bill e-invoice. Okay? Okay, so moving forward, we go to documents here. Okay, what will show in this document? Okay, this document shown here are your suppliers submitted e-invoice to your company within this time frame. Okay, so you will notice that, okay, you have suppliers sending in e-invoice to you. Okay, so the amount. Okay, so you will notice that these are the invoice. So you notice, okay, correct. If let's say it's not correct, you can choose to can choose to reject. And once you reject, your supplier will receive notification mentioning that you reject the e-invoice. So, yeah. And then you will start to have conflict. Hey, why you reject? Oh, correct why? So I ask a question. In this case, your supplier, you reject your supplier invoice, and then your supplier say, betul lah, correct ah, it was correct. Why you reject? So there's argument. Lhdn listens to guess. Correct. Because as a supplier, I issue invoice to you, I need to pay tax. So I will not simply issue invoice. Right? For what purpose I simply issue invoice? I need to pay tax. Okay? So after that, this you can view. Okay? So these are the submission. When you have submitted e-invoice, okay, it will appear here. Okay, these are the documents we received. These are the submissions that we have done. Okay, so notifications. Okay, notifications. Okay, these are the user guides you can download and go through. Okay, terms and conditions, policies. Okay, alright. So when you go back to the dashboard, okay, document received, document submitted, because not yet on board lah. Alright. Oh, okay. So if you wanted to know where is your what is your MSIC code, one of it you can go visit here. And you will get your MSIC code here under your NDA. Yes. Okay. So meaning he needs to update. Okay, he needs to update. Okay, so SSC registration definitely is key in. Okay, so this is the QR code. Okay, the QR code yeah, just now scan. Upload. This is the QR code. Okay, so our information definitely needs to key in the email address and telephone number. These are compulsory. So once done, completed, congratulations, you are ready for e-invoice. Okay. So this part, let me close this for the time being. So, thank you for your attendance today. Okay, thank you for your attendance today to this workshop trainings. Okay, trainings. So, if you have encountered any issues,